All right.
Good, hello and welcome to Unlocked and Unleashed. We are back. We took a little break, but we had to reevaluate ourselves and we are very much back. I'm so excited to be welcoming a new face to our platform. And just to remind you and to say that this is Unlocked and Unleashed, Woke Women Edition. And on that note, I'd like to welcome Gabi, all the way from the United States. Hi, Gabi.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, my name is Gabrielle Haili. I'm a transformational life coach, and my obsession right now is helping impacted-driven women heal from lingering traumas of the past so they can transform their lives, relationships, and businesses.
Wonderful. And then we've got, of course, Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hello.
And both Linda and I are connecting from Switzerland. So yeah, we're hitting two major spots of the world. That's such a blessing. Linda, can you tell us again what it is that you do?
Of course, I'd love to. I'm a mindset and leadership coach. I've just developed a program on intuitive leadership, which I'm totally obsessed with right now. And I help purpose-driven women to unlock their full potential as a leader in every area of their life to thrive.
Yes.
Yes.
Planet.
Exactly. And of course, I'm Stacy, Dr. Stacy J. My background is in economics and business, but right now, and not even but, because it all culminates as one, I'm obsessed with helping women discover their self-worth. Most of all, I feel like we all struggle with our potential because we don't recognize our worth and what we bring in this world. And there's so much negativity in this world, and there's so much, a friend of mine always said, real queens fix each other's crowns. And that's the community that I'm super obsessed with. And that's the community that I would love for this international sisterhood to grow into. I must do a disclaimer. This is not, men can definitely join, can definitely listen to us as well. It's just, specifically our point of view as women dealing with our challenges. So on that note, our topic for today is dealing with setbacks. What setbacks are, how to deal with them, how we deal with them, and so forth. So, Gabi, can you maybe start us off with, because I know that you went into your social media and you posted and you got quite a great response. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Yes, I was asking a lot of the audience, like, what's the hardest part of dealing with setbacks in your own opinion? And I got a lot of things that resonated with me, like self-doubt, fear, and upon reflection of the past year that I've been going on this entrepreneurial journey, I've run into all of these challenges, and I used to view them as setbacks myself. But now that I've grown so much, I have reframed it because I feel like everything that I've picked up along the way has really helped me to evolve into the person that I need to be, in order to reach my goals. So there were really like stopping points to help me pick up the resilience muscle that I needed, to help me pick up the tools and the strategies I needed to help me just to move a step forward. It sort of like reminds you of a video game, right? You get to level 1 and then you have to overcome a challenge. Then you get to level 2. And so when you reframe it, it moves from setbacks to, I guess, evolution of who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That actually really resonates with me, which is really tough to admit because personally, I've been extremely goal-driven since in my early teenage years already. And I only saw success and failure. That's the only two options that I ever saw. Whether it was in my academic career or in my personal life or whatever, it was like a video game in a sense that you're collecting tokens, you're collecting coins to go to the next level. And now that I'm in my early 30s, I'm realizing exactly what you're saying, that the kind of is not such a thing as a setback, so much so as it's a part of your journey. It's a stepping stone to level up. And you only level up if you learn what you need to learn through that experience. Linda, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we can end the broadcasting right here. Setbacks. I think it's
Tiffany, voila.
Yeah, I totally agree. When Gabi said that setbacks are actually evolution, I thought like, okay, let's just cut it off. You heard everything, you know.
Yeah.
No, but of course there is much more to say about it, and I totally agree. That if you are able to reframe a setback to evolution, to as a teaching, you know, if you are able to ask the question, what is this situation now teaching me? What is the gift in it? What is the treasure in it? And if the universe were for me, if the world were for me, if everything would happen for my highest good, then what it is right now, you know, give it to me. And in my experience with myself, as well as with my clients and everybody I basically talk to, if you ask the right question, you know, to reframe, to, you know, like see what is the gift, well, in this situation, I have never ever met anybody who didn't know the answer.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
You know, and so I think that is the mindset part of it. You know, what do I want to take out of this situation? The other part certainly is how to deal with emotions around loss, or, you know, everything that comes around it, because what does setback even mean, you know? Where have we experienced the setback? Is it personally? Is it in a relationship? Have we lost somebody? Have we lost a job? Or what the F ever, you know? So, yeah, I guess that's certainly something we will dive deeper into today. But I also see, you know, because you mentioned success and failure, you know, like as if it were not one thing. And I believe that failure is a part of success, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Who doesn't, you know, people who don't fail, like they don't really experience success, like kind of, you know.
Need to fail in order to succeed. Exactly.
There is the story of Thomas Edison trying to invent the light bulb and failed like 10,000 times, you know. And yeah, when asked, he just said he found 10,000 ways how not to do it. And yeah, that's what I think as well. A failure is just showing you how it's not working, right?
I feel like in my personal, like in my life personally, one thing that's really that I really hate about dealing with challenges and setbacks is that it changes you. In my case, it kind of took away from my gas, if I can put it that way. Like if I compare myself, I always compare myself to that little girl that sat down and made her life plan and was so cutthroat and so focused and cut off outside influences. And I feel like through all of these challenges, through the loss that we've experienced, through the non-successes that we've experienced, I kind of feel like, me personally, I don't know if this resonates with you guys, but I kind of feel like it was kind of like slaps in my face and made me feel obviously very down. But at the same time, when I got up afterwards to be able to stand up, I wasn't the same. You know, I wasn't the same, or I didn't have that same voltage or that same gas behind me as before. And I kind of feel like each one of those setbacks just chips away bit by bit. And I'm also struggling with how to deal with it. Linda?
I would love to just add to that, because I feel like that just confirms what I just said, or what Gabi just said as well about reframing, right? Because you say, I feel like it just chipped away from who I am and it changed me so much. So what kind of meaning do you give, you know? Like, is it a bad change, or is change good? You know, it's like, what has been chipped away? The good stuff or the bad stuff, you know? So it's the meaning you give it, right? Like,
yeah.
You can feel like something has been taken away from you, or you can feel like something has been added, you know, or something has been taken away so something else can can be added, or something has been taken away from you that never even belonged to you in the first place, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe
Yeah, so
a way of, you know, like how you what meaning do you give it?
What meaning do you give it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I completely agree. And Stacy, what you said earlier resonated with me on some level because, you know, I've noticed about myself that I'm also very goal oriented and I just like push, push, push. I'm not competitive with others, but I'm competitive with myself.
Myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm so like, I notice I'm so controlling in the sense that I want step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And what I've been learning is that all of my plans suck, you know, because like honestly, letting go is the hardest thing to do ever. But I feel like the universe or the or spirit or whatever else is out there, all of their ideas are all better than my ideas because everything that has like turned out for me has always turned out way better than my mind could possibly imagine it to be.
That's deep, man. That's really deep.
Love it.
It's so hard though when you want to
I
be
can't even argue with it.
Perfect, right?
Yeah. I think that I totally relate to that, Gabi, because I mean, Linda will know how much of a control freak I am. And it's hard to let go because you kind of feel if I'm not in control of my life, then who is? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you feel like it's getting worse. Sorry if I can just jump in here. But I know the control issue, and for me, personally, it was like, if I let go of control, you know, it might get worse. What if the universe, you know, what if life is not a good place? What if I let go and then like it gets really bad, you know, like really bad. What if I'm the only one that, you know, like with my holding on to the situation, like keeps it at least a little bit, you know, endurable, and then I let go and then like everything just crashes and, you know, like falls apart and whatever. That was my, and sometimes still is, you know, my deepest internal fear, or like the control, you know, like what if I let go of control? Will it get worse? You know? But yeah, it feels like life or the universe, God, creation, the divine, you know, however you want to call it. I mean, there are many different belief systems, right? Like how we call it, you know. We agree on each one of us is a spiritual person, you know, and so I guess everyone who is like not involved into spirituality, you know, just don't watch.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. Can I ask you a question, Linda? When you mentioned that, you know, and Gabi as well mentioned that these are, you know, stepping stones, these are lessons that we learn to change us, to develop us, to evolve us. All depends on the meaning that you give these circumstances or these setbacks or these losses in our lives. What are some of the questions we can ask ourselves? Because I always say the biggest fool, or my dad always said, the biggest fool is the one who fools himself. So I don't have that luxury because my true self is so in my face. Like I know exactly, Stacy, you're messing up. This isn't you. This is not what you would do. This is not what you would say. So for our listeners, for our audience out there that are woke, because this is woke women, and these are for women that really truly are in sympathetic vibration with themselves and their true selves. What are some, when we're being honest with ourselves and we're in a setback, you know, whether it's with our business, whether it's personally, financially, oh my God, it's been such a terrible year all around the world in terms of employment and finances. We are all in the same boat. And if you're not, then good for you. What are some of the questions we can ask ourselves in order to, first of all, identify why we're going through this or what the lesson is to be learned? Can you maybe shed some light on that? And then Gabi as well after Linda.
Yeah, what the lesson is very clear. What is the lesson in this? What do I need to learn? You know, it's really simple. It's really simple. If this situation was a gift, what is the gift? If that situation was for my highest good, then what was my highest good? What is it leading me into?
Yeah.
For example, I have a dream, I want to be an entrepreneur. Like I did some years ago, right? So
Yes.
it's not Zoom just sends me weird notifications. What is that?
Yeah, me too. Like, hey Zoom, thank you Zoom.
Come on, Zoom. Be polite. so 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 I want to be an entrepreneur. For example, I want to build a business. I want to build a heart-driven business, not just any business, a heart-driven business. I want to realize myself. I want to know myself better through doing it, right? That is my purpose. So I start a business, and every obstacle that is in the way, meanwhile, I'm building my audience, building an income, building an impact. There are hundreds of obstacles that everybody of us can confirm, right? We have built our businesses. So you encounter obstacles on a daily basis. And how do you see each of them? Because eventually every one of these obstacles just asks you, how much do you actually want it? Do you really want it? Yes. Okay. So who do I have to be to overcome this obstacle? It's not like what has to happen, or like something like outside of us. It's who do I have to be? What do I have to align with? Like, what are my values? It's always questioning, who am I, right? And you find yourself through walking that path, and how you deal with these obstacles. That's what I believe, and that's what is absolutely true for me in my whole life. Before I built my business, I've set out to find my soulmate, and it was the same path, with every man that I met, with every date that I had, with every like day that I walked, I just encountered many obstacles, most of them internal, but manifested externally. And I just had to evolve into a partner, into a wife, like into who I really am in a relationship, to be with my husband today. If I hadn't done that, the person I was before that, I wouldn't have wanted to be with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
no, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. And it's the same in every area of your life. Like, who do you have to be as a coach? Who do you have to be as an entrepreneur? Who do you have to be as like a person in general, as a mother, as a, to like manifest your vision? Who do you have to be? And the setbacks, the obstacles are just there to help you evolve into that. Right, Gabi?
Wow.
I love that. I love that so much, because whenever you ask yourself, who do I have to be this leader, then you automatically have the opportunity to step into that person. Like once you actually, establish the qualities that you need in order to become that. But another question that I love to ask myself, I borrowed this from Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith. Do you guys follow him?
Yeah, Michael Beckwith. I'm aware of Michael Beckwith. Yeah.
I love him so much. So he taught me to ask the question whenever I'm going through a particularly challenging time, is what gift is here that I presently cannot see? And that one, like, it's so hard to ask yourself, especially when super challenging times present themselves to you. Be like, if you don't have money to pay your bills, for example. Like I've been struggling with money for a while, right? I've been working on my money mindset, and I've been presented with all of these opportunities to really reevaluate the way that I think about money. And it's not that easy whenever you look at your bank account and you're like, I have more bills than I have in the bank account. And then to step back and ask yourself, what gift is here that I presently cannot see? It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it offers you the opportunity to move beyond that, to see what it is that you actually want to experience, to step into the person that you need to become in order to attract the money energy that needs to come to you.
Yeah. I think that I just want to come in there. I was actually talking to Linda earlier today, and it's something that I'm so blessed and I'm so proud to have, because I grew up pretty well. I know what it is basically to have a lot and to have nothing. And through those experiences, and as an entrepreneur and as someone who's assisted people to start companies in very difficult circumstances, and with economic crises and financial crises and all of this, I keep saying that nothing is constant. Okay, markets fall, industries close, factories close, unemployment, all of these things will always exist from Jesus's time to the end of time. The point is, how much power do your finances have over you? Because if we're just talking business, as an entrepreneur or as a business person, you have to be into your star player mode in order to succeed. Against all the circumstances, against all everything, you can't afford to crawl into a corner and be, woe is me, my clients haven't paid, I still have to do this, I still have to do that, what am I going to do? You have to think on your feet, you have to evolve all of the time. So you kind of don't even have the luxury of, and I say the luxury of worrying about finances and things like that. You have to click into your faith. You have to be creative. You have to think on your feet, because that's an entrepreneur. If you don't have that, then don't even go for it. Stay an employee, honestly, because being an entrepreneur means, it's amazing, the pros, there's a lot of pros, but the cons is, if you're sleeping, if you're in bed, if you are in a corner, you're not making money. That's, at the end of the day, there's nobody else to blame. There's no boss to go to. There's no HR department to make a complaint about. It's you. And the bus stops with you. And I always feel like when we go through financial struggle, it's an opportunity for us to realign our faith, to count our blessings, and to tap into it, to see what we did, what we could have done differently or whatever. But most of all, it's to stabilize our faith and make it immovable, that throughout all circumstances, it stays constant and it doesn't affect our behavior and it doesn't affect us so deeply like it does. But yeah, Linda.
Yeah. I think I had like the same thought, just in different words. I just wanted to add that, because of what Gabi said, that it is an internal job, right? Like, if you are not happy without cash, for example, if you are not happy and, fulfilled without having money in your pocket, you won't be fulfilled with having money in your pocket.
Hallelujah.
Because the money is not, like, you're miserable because like you're not aligned, and like, it's your emotions, like it's an internal thing. Like, the money from the outside might make you happy for a second, but it doesn't solve your inner issue you have with yourself. The same goes for a business. If you are super miserable, and like, don't feel well, I mean, you won't attract clients in the first place, but with a thriving business, you won't be happy neither, right? Like, a thriving business doesn't make you happy if you're not, like, good with yourself, internally. And the same goes for partnership. If I'm miserable, without a partner, I'm going to be miserable in a relationship. The other person can't fix that for you, So you have to set the foundation for yourself. And I believe, and I know for a fact that, setbacks, that happen in your life are really just an opportunity to grow into who you really are. And I want to add that, there is a variety of setbacks. There can be setbacks like daily obstacles. There can be like deep stuff, like losing a parent, losing someone you love, like accidents happen, like you're getting injured. I have a good example of my own, when I set out what was that about? It's so long ago. So long ago, I started my spiritual journey, and like asking the question, who am I really? And I had an accident, snowboard accident, and I broke my wrist. And just as my wrist was about to heal, I ruptured a tendon, from
Oh,
after the surgery, like a screw like ruptured the tendon, and again I couldn't move my hand, and it was terrible. I mean, it was super painful. I had like 3 surgeries, and I couldn't go to work anymore, which was a blessing because I didn't like my job, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
even my boss, like he ended my contract. It was insane, what is happening
that's
here?
nice of him. Nice
Yeah.
guy.
And on the other hand, I was always so like in a rush, internally. I
Yes.
never really slowed down to listen at that time.
Yeah.
And having my hand like completely wrapped up, I couldn't even get dressed as fast as I did before.
That's
So I had to
hard.
get dressed
Oh
really
man.
slow. I had to wash the dishes really slow. I was at home every day, and I started to really do things mindful and slow and really being present with myself, just because I had that accident. And
Yeah.
I knew that accident didn't happen by accident.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
a teacher. It was it was there for me. I
Yeah.
manifested it basically. I know that I manifested it. It's not like
Yeah.
about blame or whatever. I know I manifested it because I needed that in my life. I needed it so bad. I needed it,
Yeah.
and it came. You can choose though, mostly like bad things don't have to happen, but that was the perfect thing for me to happen. And I know there can
Yeah.
be worse things, and I really don't, I'm happy I never experienced something personally on my body that is worse, but I've lost a parent, for example,
Yeah.
and I know pain. And yeah, but even like I believe with my whole heart, and if someone just doesn't agree, it's fine, it's fine, just don't take it. But I believe wholeheartedly with my whole soul that no matter what happens, there is always a spark of good in it, even if we never ever in our lifetime can grasp or imagine what it was. But I'm so certain there is always good in everything
Wow.
if we just want to
Wow.
see it, yeah.
Yeah. If
Mm-hmm.
you're willing to see it.
Exactly.
Gabi, any thoughts?
Yeah. Whenever you brought up the loss of your parent, I immediately thought about the loss of my brother. I was 20 years old whenever I was in the hospital. The doctors were like, he's gonna live, he's not gonna live, he's gonna live, he's not gonna live, like for a week, and being sleep deprived and me thinking like, how could this possibly happen to such a
Yeah.
good person?
Yeah.
Like there's so many people who wanted to die, like me, for example. Like I was in a
Yeah.
place in my life where I was so depressed, had PTSD, was going through so much violence in my personal life. And I was always wanting to die. I had suicidal thoughts, and like, why isn't it me? Why is this happening to him? Like, how could you possibly see the good in that whenever you're struggling so deeply and you're in so much pain?
Yeah.
But now that I look back, I feel like it was such a gift. I mean, of course, I wish he was here, but
Yeah.
because he passed, it offered me the opportunity to learn how to live, because I saw what it did to everybody in my family. Everybody just was so heartbroken, and it just like split us up in many different ways. And
Yeah.
I thought to myself, oh, well, I can't do that to them. My brother died, I can't do that to them. So it forced me to find a way to learn how to live. And now I did, and now I'm so happy. And now I can talk about it without breaking down into a puddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, that is so touching and so deep. I can't even, wow.
I mean, that resonates so much with me because I never thought I never connected, you know, because I lost my mom about 4 years, was just the anniversary a few days ago, 4 years. And only in the last few months I can barely, but talk about it without breaking completely down. And I never thought about it because I also went through an extremely, extremely dark path. And that's why self-worth is so personal to me, and I'm so obsessed with it, because I think that feeling worthless is one of the worst things that you can go through on this earth. Feeling like you have absolutely no contribution and that tomorrow you could disappear and everything would be fine. And being that low, and you having the opportunity, and I say the opportunity, you know, it's not an opportunity, it's a terrible tragedy. But you seeing firsthand what that loss of a son, of a grandson, of a cousin, of a nephew did to your family. Because I think that when you're on the other side, when you're planning to take your life, and it's a plan, you know, when you're doing your research, when you're trying to be underhanded, when you're trying to keep on the facade of being okay and being the happy, chirpy person that everybody thinks you are, not knowing what's going on behind that. One of the biggest things, well, for me, was thinking of the devastation and thinking how they would be, okay? Because no matter how low you are, I believe that you always think of your family. You always think of how are they going to deal with it? How are they going to go on? Is it going to mess up their lives forever and ever? Because, you know, you are only in your feelings and here, and you having to see that and having gone through that. Oh my gosh, that's so touching.
Yeah. Not an easy thing to go through, but it, you know, it really shifts your perspective whenever you have help. I definitely didn't go through it by myself. I have so many challenges that I have overcome with help. It's so important to have friends that you can trust, or fellow life coaches like you guys. I can't live without you guys. I'm so happy and grateful that I have you, because I feel like when you have an important support system, or have a support system in your life, it really helps you to move forward faster instead of staying like stuck. You know what
Absolutely, I mean? Gabi, and that brings me to the next point that I wanted to start to talk about: the importance of having a support system, a support mechanism, something. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I go through my setbacks, I'm not even proud of it, because as educated and as accomplished as I am, this is what I do when I'm going into deep waters or whatever. I'm just like, forget about me, I don't exist, leave me alone. You know, I cut myself off. I just, you know, I send sarcastic messages and I just want to be alone and I'm fine and everything, just leave me be. And I don't call them my support system, I call them the army of angels. And I feel like each and every one of us has an army of angels around us, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, but we are our biggest obstacles to tap into that and to accept it and to open ourselves. Because, hey, nobody does it alone. There's nobody. If there's somebody that has been through deep, really traumatizing setbacks and you've dealt with it all by yourself, please write to us. Because I bet $100 that doesn't exist. And there's nothing wrong with it, because I thought that, you know, this is my circumstances and I have to man up and deal with this like a big girl and put on my big girl pants and just go through this and whatever, forgetting that, hey, Stacy, so you praying to God for help, right? And you praying for guidance and you praying for strength and all of this, right? And you praying that he opens doors of blessing for you. So must Moses come down from like with a burning bush, and Joseph and everybody else? Must they all come down to physically help you out of your circumstances? Must God put his hand through the sky to open companies' doors for you, to tap on this guy, to give you a contract or whatever it is? No. Those people around us, our support mechanism, our army of angels, they are there because of whoever you believe in. You believe in God or the universe or whatever, but these are the things around us to help us. And I must be honest, like for the longest, Linda knows, I'm the first one to tap out. I'm out. I'm all by myself, me and my feelings, and doing it with pride and arrogance even. But it's so important. And Linda, can you share with us how to tap into that and how to build a good network around ourselves, especially as women?
Yeah, I will, and I have a personal experience to share first as well. It's a little bit insane that we all have like this loss part.
Totally.
Because when I lost my father like 11 years ago, it's a while now. I was literally alone. I was literally alone. I have just left my home country. I have just moved to Switzerland. I was alone in my apartment. I knew nobody here, nobody except my boss and my coworkers. But it was just you know and I got the call after work, and it was the most horrible night of my life because I was just alone in my apartment and I had nobody to turn to. And just the next morning, I just bought a train ticket and took the earliest train back to Germany. Of course, then I had my family, around me, but I was so closed off as well. So just um, just to make a point, sometimes it feels like you are alone or you literally are alone, but like the good thing is, if nobody physically is there, you have to take action, is I guess what I want to say. Like you have to take action on it, at least pray, or like talk to yourself, pray, write about it, like connect with something, like build some connection at least, express what you are feeling. And writing, by the way, writing about it, like journaling, just writing out what you feel, what you think, it's so healing, and it kind of connects you with your intuition, with your inner being. It doesn't always have to be someone else. If you feel like I'm out, I don't want to, like, it's fine, but then just connect with yourself instead, like look for help internally, look for help in, like within yourself. It's a mindset thing again. Do I close off and just want to, like, like swim in my tears and in my sorrow, which is fine as well, if you need to do it. But if you want to shift out of it, just decide, just decide, like, I'm looking for help right now. And just see what resonates with you. Do I just, like, do I write? Do I pray? Do I go out into nature and touch a tree? Do I go out into the nature and look at cows? We're in Switzerland. Here are like literally millions of cows.
I had to close the windows because otherwise you'd be hearing the bells on the cows and the sheep in front of my house.
Exactly. Or do I go to a lake, and just sit in nature? Or do I call a friend? Do I talk to my parents? Do I go on the internet, and like look up articles? Do I grab a book?
Listen to music.
Yeah. It's, it, like, looking for help is very, very individual, and it really, really varies what you actually need in that moment. And I'm all about intuition. My program is called Intuitive Leadership, because leading yourself internally from the inside out, while being tapped into your intuition, knowing what I need, knowing what I want, listening to my needs and my desires is so important, because no one else, like, can give that to you. So
To you.
Yeah, just ask yourself constantly, on a constant basis, what do I need right now? And then, if you need help with a setback, just decide, I'm getting help. And then ask yourself, what is the next step to receive the help that I need? What is the next step? if I knew what was the next step, what was it then? What do I have to do? Maybe you have to go out, to the next bookshop and look for a book, as I mentioned, or you have to call your neighbor, or sometimes weird things come up. Just bring your neighbor a cookie, or I don't know, I really don't know, or drink a tea on the balcony, but just listen to that, and create an intentional space, intentional action. We talked about that today, right? Put intention behind your action. This, whatever I'm going to do right now, is intended to make me receive help, to help me to to help me deal with my setback or whatever. If that makes sense.
That makes complete sense. It makes complete sense because earlier on you also mentioned, and this kind of shook me, that you've never ever met someone that didn't know. Like when you ask yourself the question, what is the lesson that I should learn? What is it that I should get out of this? We know the answers, but we need to tap into that with intention. Be honest and open, feel what we're feeling. And if I can add to that, be patient, really, really be patient with ourselves. It's really, really okay. It's really, really okay to feel the way you're feeling, whatever you're feeling, it's okay. Don't be so tough. Oh my God, as women, we are so tough on ourselves. And I honestly thought that I said to Linda, because, I'm South African and she's German, and our backgrounds and our cultures, it comes up a lot in our conversations because it made us who we are, our upbringing, our backgrounds, all of that. And I really thought, before I left my home country about 15 years ago, oh my God, it's been 15 years. I really thought that the struggle of a Black woman, of an African woman, is unique to us. And, through having friends from different other cultures and different backgrounds, I've realized that actually it's not unique to us as African women. Yes, in Africa, women are the pillars of society. We carry the world on our backs. And I think that goes for every woman in every culture in the world. And that's why having this international sisterhood is so important to me. Having women who know their self-worth and know their purpose and are aligned with that is the most beautiful thing to me. That's all I want to say on that. Gabi, please, in closing, can you give us some of your pearls of wisdom as well?
Yes. So I wanted to go back to the self-isolating thing. That's been a huge default setting of mine, to be so self-isolating, because as a child, when I was going through a lot of violence and stuff, I learned that, people weren't available to help me. I wasn't protected. And then I carried that with me. And then when I finally started to reach out for help, nobody wanted to listen. I felt I became a drain on people. And so I learned that if I were to open myself to people, then they don't want to listen to me. So it automatically created this pattern within myself to just keep quiet, or else people won't want to listen. People won't want to hear you. And even though I created my support system just last year with my entire journey, I still noticed about myself that I don't want to tell people when I'm in my lows. It's still a practice for me. And so something that I have been doing in order to pull myself out of that is, for one, being honest. Hey, Linda, hey, Stacy, I'm just feeling low right now. I'm not able to pull myself out, and just risking rejection, even though I know I'm not going to get it. And then I keep getting that confirmation that, oh, it's okay, this is normal. And so I think that's really helpful. But another thing that's really helpful is creating a morning routine. I have a program, Magic Morning, and that is specifically oriented towards helping women come out of trauma, but it also, helps you to learn how to create habits with accountability in order for you to really establish a solid foundation of self-love, self-worth, and healing, as well as it's not time consuming. It's actually time giving. And so I know setbacks happen throughout the day, at all times. But if you actually set up a solid foundation with a morning routine, to intentionally, set the focus on how you want your day to go, it will really help you to create a new default setting so you can move forward beyond your setbacks in an efficient way.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't even want to mention my dad again. Clearly, I'm a daddy's girl. But it used to drive me nuts. In the morning, he would sing. He couldn't, like, we're a musical family. Everybody's really talented musically. And I hope he watches this so that he can get my diss. But he's the one person in our family. He's got no musical talent. But in his mind, his voice is like, the best voice in the world. So in the mornings, he would sing so loud and, I'm like, oh, why is this happening? And he would compliment himself. He would be like, oh, I've got a powerful voice. Oh, and I'd be like, what are you doing? And he said, if I don't say it to myself, then who's going to say it to me? And I was like, yeah, because nobody thinks that. And then he just, after a while, I was like, Daddy, why are you doing this? You're so extra in the mornings. Like, what's going on? And he was like, his thing is this. And he's a maths guy. He's like, if you're going to start your day at 200% or 150% or even just 100%, then through your day, it's going to allow you to, maybe you come back at the end of the day, you're at 40% or you're at 65%. That's still okay, but if you're going to start your day at 40% or 20% or 0%, then by the time you come home from work, you're totally, down. So that totally resonates with me, the importance of a morning routine. And I must honestly say, while you were saying that, I just realized that I was at my happiest, my most focused, my healthiest, like I was bomb, I was snatched, when I had a consistent morning routine that I started with a friend of mine, and we were accountable to each other. Like, she would knock on my door, be like, bitch, we're doing this. And it would start with yoga, and it ended eventually with breakfast together, and that was all before 8:30, and then like 9 o'clock, okay, back to writing, back to work, back to whatever we had to do. So I would encourage our listeners and our audience to please check out Gabi's socials and all of that, and get in touch with her regarding what she does and her morning routine, and as well as Linda with intuitive leadership. I can only vouch for you guys like 1,000,000,000,000%. I love people who know me. A lot of people think I'm a complete bitch. And I love that, because I'm actually just a marshmallow. But I love connecting with like-minded women so much. Women who lift each other up, women who pick each other up, women who empathize with each other, share each other's journeys without judgment, with patience and understanding. And that's what we have here. And I'm so proud and I'm so happy, and I love you guys so much.
Love you too.
Yeah, so I think that's all the time we have for today. I think that there's so much we can still talk on this topic. Send us your questions, your comments, all of that. Get in touch, connect with us. And yeah, Linda, do you have anything you want to add before I close off?
No, I absolutely have nothing to add, except that you just, did the best marketing for Gabi's program, the Magic Morning.
Hey, marketing communications, it's what I do. Look me up.
Yeah. I just can, just throw the same into the bucket. Like like the morning routine, just it's life changing. It changed everything for me too. And I love the stories of your dad, and he was so right again. That was so eye opening. If you start like with 100%, you have like maybe 40 in the evening. But if you start with 40, like you basically, fuck.
Yeah. we should definitely bring his ass on one of our calls so we can shed some wisdom.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I hate him, but I love him with all my heart.
Mr. Julius, edition.
He does.
No, I love it. All right. No, I guess that was it for today. We have a lot more to share, and we will.
Absolutely.
But for today, we're gonna finish off, I guess.
Yeah. So to you, Linda, good night, good evening, and to you, Gabi, good morning, afternoon. Have an awesome day. And till next time, Unlocked and Unleashed, Woke Women Edition.
Yeah,
Click,
and
click,
ladies.
all the links like to socials and like program applications. I'm taking clients, for August. It's always good to check out what is going on.
Yeah.
Gabi is taking clients as well. Stacy, as I know, is just getting into it as well, and I think it's really worth it to check out. If anything from us resonates with you, just go down into the comment box, into the description, check out our links, like look what like what resonates, drop comments, leave likes, subscribe, and yeah, else just please come back and have a great day. Love you guys.
Yeah. Hugs to everybody.
Kisses.
Ciao,
Hugs.
ciao.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.